I know where I'm at, it seems like I'm pretty much in that 10-mile zone. I'm over at HPP.
And what does that mean exactly? The buffer zone is they wouldn't do it there?
Well,
Yeah, no people, no shopping, no buffer. Buffer, get out. Because it's a natural disaster waiting to happen. And if it blows up,
That would get people.
have you tried to go to work in the morning on a normal day? Can you imagine if all 50,000 people that don't go to work every day tried to go too? It ain't gonna happen. There's no disaster route. There's no plan. There are two, count them, two ambulances in Lower Puna.
Right.
Two.
In case there is a
I'm
blowout.
in it too.
You're on your own, baby. That's what.
Get your own gas mask is
For
what
sure.
it amounts to.
And your disaster pack isn't a box with batteries and flashlights and water in it. It's a backpack which you take with you because you're not going to be in your home for the next 6 months. That's how the disasters go around here usually.
Well, with a well blowout, absolutely.
That's why when they talk about 1 mile or 3 mile or 10 mile, huge difference between logic of this area being suitable for whatever they have
Right,
planned.
right. We live here.
They'd be better to put it off in the rainforest like
So
the
it's sort of
original
missed
intent.
what
They
you've
didn't
done.
do that.
Nothing. Just in fact, I even changed the video.
Okay. All right.
Something I did something.
Okay, so
Do we need to talk about strategy or
Exercise for the day.
like strengths and weaknesses and that sort of thing, like that we're going to address in the education,
we're not.
or do we want to just hit it this time? And I don't know. I'm a little. I have to say I'm a little lost, but
I think it's about burnout time.
I know.
Uh-huh.
it is. I agree.
Well,
Well, I think we've beaten this particular horse to death, is what it is. But I'm sad though too. If we come out of this and all you've learned is that you need to tell 5 people about the things at Uncle Robert's, I mean, honestly, that's not cool. We have to have a better plan than that.
Okay.
We have to have a better plan than that.
Okay.
I can't go, so we have to have a better plan than that.
Or something related to a rapid response team for future events, getting the information out to people so we get.
It's not Arculiana. You live in Pepe Kale, man, and I live up the hill. That's not. We're not going to be helpful with that. We're going to be a hindrance to that. I want to do something that I can feel good about, that I can tell everybody about, and that they'll want to do it too.
All right.
That's what I want to do.
All right.
Okay? So I do Occupy Helco. All right? That is something I do. Our vision is that we're going to scare the fuck out of Helco as often as possible. Okay? So I show up there once a month and I wave my signs. And the last time we waved signs there, they were closed. Anybody know why? I don't know why. They were closed.
You know you were coming.
But they found out we were there, so the owner guy called the security guy who drove down the hill to ask us what we were doing. He's my kid's best friend, the security guy. So we were cool. Charles there is in charge of the driveway, and you know we've done this like 3 times, so we're total pros at it. Don't worry about it. And you can tell your boss that we'll be here the last Monday of every single month. Okay, so that's what happened last week. In the meantime, I am also attending every single commission meeting I can figure out that exists, even if I have to drive halfway around the island to do it. That is scaring the shit out of them too, I guarantee you. I know it is. They've told me that they're watching my YouTube channel. So that is drawing attention. We have had more articles than I can count in the paper and small island papers and blogs and what, honestly, more than I can count. I had to make a list, because there was so many. So we are drawing attention to energy, geothermal, the grid, all that stuff. I think we're doing it, okay? But we need help. We at Occupy Hilo need help. It is a huge thing that we're taking on. Lance is up 20 hours a day writing resolutions, and he's burned out. He cannot take it anymore, okay? And we're kind of strapped. I mean, we're in a rut, to be very honest with you. You know, when people say, what do you do? It's like, I don't know. We have meetings. And we do Occupy Helco, but beyond, I mean, everybody knows that I hate sign waving.
I
hate it.
I
hate
hate
it.
it too.
But I do it all the time
Yeah.
because that's what everybody wants to do. That's the local thing to do. That's how you protest here. So we're doing that. But I would love for this group to put your 2 cents in, and what do you see is, what's your goal for this? And then once we figure that out, what we all have to contribute, we can decide what we can do as a group, or
Yeah, we don't all have to do the same piece of it. We can all contribute where our skills fit.
And I think that's great, and I think that's one of the things. And I don't think that by saying to tell 5 people about Uncle Robert is something that isn't really feel good or sustainable. Because what you're doing, you're giving people the opportunity to choose for themselves.
Yeah.
And then you've got the goal to have flyers by 2 weeks with all the information that you're talking about right now.
Yeah, all these things though, if you go to the model that we're talking about in the book, we're trying to help us build an effective campaign that actually gets the results that we want. Those are like actions down at the very bottom. Those are the little baby steps that we do. We really haven't, other than talked about education, really come up with a goal. And that's
And
sort
a
of-
flyer is an education. That's part of that goal. That's not a strategy. That's part of in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
And it isn't a
It's
flyer. I
strategy
mean,
part.
there's series.
Strategy
It's
is
going
Do
to go on
is
and
to
on.
have a flyer every week, like
Continuing
the Albuquerque
education.
Yanks. Yeah.
And there might even be a strategy behind that, to start with something and then move on to something else.
What you're doing is profoundly good. And
Yeah.
I think what we're going to do is get that information out to people so it further spreads and gets people showing up to these things, pushing pressure on you're being watched.
So-
You better do this or you're not going to get elected again. Because we have leverage. People are going to show up. People are going to...
Yeah.
They're just going to go to sleep,
Yeah.
fall flat, and the power plant's going to go in. That's what they're planning on. They're planning on the average person just saying,
I'm so
Oh,
tired.
the
I
cart
can't do
is
it.
miles in front of the horse on this one, right? It is. This is happening. And I mean, I am rooting for large scale civil
Yeah,
disobedience.
and
And I
Yeah.
see it happening.
get people involved.
Okay,
Absolutely.
This is building. We're kind of like the cool kids, right? Oh, we know what's going on.
Jumped right in.
Everybody else still needs to wake up, and so that's why education is our goal.
Right.
It's the only thing that we can be guaranteed of succeeding at. Okay, and we can succeed greatly at that.
What about Tina's idea? That would be another thing. To meet at the museum
How-
to do a teach-in. That would be a great goal.
How
I mean, a
about,
strategy or whatever you want to call it. Something to do. An action.
I'm thinking maybe one of the goals too is building our coalition, our human
That has been the toughest thing I've seen over the
Definitely.
years here.
Definitely.
Does that work?
Everybody's
I mean, I think that's
events,
measurable and
but there's been no
concrete.
follow through,
That's it.
no
Yeah, that's a good
coalition, no
one.
growing of a
Because
group,
right now we've got
pushing. I mean, everybody is cats going different directions. Not
Yeah.
Bill, I'm a Democrat.
But our overall goal
or
is to get back our law.
Troops on the ground basically is what I'm thinking about. That's our goal.
Then these are
yeah,
troops on the ground.
projects. This is a project. This is not the end of it.
yeah.
Well, I think you said, like, you're heavily involved in Occupy Hilo. We all are involved in different aspects. Yet they all dovetail together, Like, I hate to do it, because I hate to drive to Hilo, to be honest, but I can better commit knowing that it's going to be once a month that we're going to just show solidarity down at Hilo. I'll do that,
Right on.
But every week it's like, my plate is full of things that I'm doing.
Well, and that's what we ran into. I mean, I didn't start the Merrill Lynch thing. Somebody else did. But I started showing up, you showed up, you showed up. We all started showing up. And it was taxing week after week after week. And so people quit showing up. And this thing was intended to grow. There should have been more and more and more and more. But it's absolutely not how it went. And that's what it was, is we went on for a couple weeks and months in a row, and people literally had to go back to work. They had to buy the gas to put in their car to take a half a
That's what
day
you're up against.
to do this.
Distance and dollars.
That's one of the.
See, my goal is to build a new government,
We've got
cut through
all
this
of these
bullshit.
regions, and we need to really think about about localizing. We keep talking about doing local this and local that.
Yep.
In terms of getting people amped up as well as networked to really be down at the most local level, and that's why it's like, okay, Puna cannot drive to Hilo 3 times a week to do Hilo things. Puna's got plenty to keep its own hands full with things that are going on here, so let's start here, let's plug into what is already happening instead of reinventing the wheel, going to the farmers markets, having a presence there, instead of creating new events that we don't have time to vision, to get in on the museum's offer to use their space for free. And that's so centrally located. If we're there during the day, once a month doing a little sign making party, we can be out on the front sidewalk, people stopping, talking one-on-one. That's the best education.
I'm gonna put in here like
Scale.
it's really a decentralized grassroots.
Yeah.
Yeah, localized scale. And from there we network like a spider's web.
I think.
Bye, Lori.
Thank you for coming.
Tina, do we want to set a date for going to the museum, or for
Let's go
somebody
on
to
Tuesday. Let's be in touch between now and Tuesday and see if we can go in and talk to you.
Okay.
On Tuesday. Does that sound good?
Okay.
I'm glad you asked because I was already thinking about that.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
So is everyone going to be, I guess as part of the contact 5 people, but is everyone committing to being at Uncle Robert's on Tuesday, 6
I think so, yeah.
Well, not everybody.
With
Like
those that
I
can-
am, because I live in
yeah.
Puna,
I live in Hamakua, so it's.
Yeah, that's a
Right, that's what I'm asking. I'm going to go just
But I'm
because I
there.
want to support.
Solidarity.
the
You can realize
process.
too,
I
when
wanna
you show
learn
up,
about
there's 10 other
geothermal.
people
I've heard a lot about it from the
Yeah.
other
who can't make
presentations.
it because of circumstances who will support you, but they can't get there because they gotta work
So I got to.
2 jobs.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because the thing down
Yeah,
at
the tip of the iceberg.
the restaurant, or the theater, I thought was well done and very informative.
Everything I saw.
But I will go
And
there.
it'd be good to have a good big event to include. I always like the idea of a festival party. Everybody comes down, family comes down, do parties of some sort.
Strategies.
Celebration.
For
They get everybody down celebrating clean
coalition.
energy,
I'm trying to
blah, blah,
listen
blah.
and catch this.
Solidarity,